Charlie, how you doing, man?
I am doing great, Mitch. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Well, we got James Woods, someone that we've been waiting on for a long time to come up. He's going to make that debut tonight. So we're going to remember what July 1st is, especially if he hit a couple of home runs tonight. What can we
Yeah.
expect from the big man?
Well, that makes it easy, right? To remember the date when it's the first of the month.
There you go.
It does, and he's had a tremendous season at AAA. The baseball people make the decision as to when, not just on the numbers that you see early in the year. But it has been quite a start for him. I mean, we were so impressed in spring training. And you don't like to give a lot of value to what you see in spring training because pitchers are in top form then. But just even the batting practices were like epic
Hmm.
shows. The sound of the ball off his bat, the power that we saw when he hit home runs in spring training. So we knew it was just a matter of time, a half a season at AAA. He missed some time on the injured list with a hamstring, about 3 weeks, just short of really a month. Uh, 353 average, 10 home runs, 16 doubles, stole 10 bases at 11 tries. He walked 40 times. And a lot of times they don't give a tremendous value. We have seen guys that have hit AAA pitching and then come up to the big leagues, and it's a big difference. But this guy has hit everywhere he's been. And we got to remember about everything now. He's coming to the big leagues at the age of 21. So
Hmm.
we'll see how he handles it. He's handled both left-handed and right-handed pitching really well at the AAA level. But, for some guys we find out, you know, what the adjustment is like, guys who are hot at the start and then the pitching adjusts to him and then
Yeah.
he has to make adjustments, which is the story of this game, constantly making adjustments. But we're real excited to see him play. And it's an even a better story, when it's somebody who grew up in the area. He's going to have a lot of friends and family there. It's an exciting day in Nationals history.
But when you look at him, like some people in the minors or even in the majors, some people are just better hitters or more patient than others. When you look at James Wood, what would you say? Is he a patient guy who waits for the pitch, or does he chase things?
I don't see him as a guy who chases a ton, but remember, young players do have a tendency to chase,
Yeah.
and he's probably going to see better off speed and breaking stuff than anything he saw in the minor leagues. Fastballs, anybody's fastball. I'm not worried about that. It's the adjustments to how he sees different pitchers and their repertoires and how successful they'll be and how he makes adjustments. For some guys, you come up here, the lighting's better, everything, the conditions are better. Some guys come up here and do even better in the big leagues than they do in the minor league levels.
Yeah. So we know that everyone is waiting to see him hit the ball, but he has to play it out in the outfield sometimes. He's played most of his minor league career at center field. Will we see him at center, or will he be moving to left?
I would see he'd be in left field. I mean, I don't think they're going to put center field on him at this point. Jacob Young has played a terrific center field. We're probably going to see Jesse Winker maybe get more DH time. We've seen him taking some ground balls at first base. Maybe that's in his future. But I would suspect that Wood would play in left field when he's in the outfield. As far as what the games he started at Rochester, it was even 22 in left, 22 in center. He did start 5 at right and 3 as a designated hitter. But I would think right now left field is where you'll see him the most. But he does give them an option. Jacob Young's played every day for a couple of months in center field. He's barely taken a day off. Lane Thomas can play center. Wood can play center. That gives Davey Martinez an option if they need to give Jacob Young a day off, or if that finger injury that he's been playing through requires that he takes a day off. That's probably what they would do.
So this team has come out and they've played some better baseball than everybody expected, and now you're adding Wood to the lineup. When you begin to see this team, do you think that this move to bring Wood up is just what they had planned, or is it because they were playing so well?
Well, I think it's a plan, definitely, of how much time they wanted him in AAA. Pretty much a half a season. Come up now and have slightly under a half a season remaining at the big league level. So I think that was part of the plan. And the Nationals, if they have a need, it's offense and power. They're near the bottom of the
Mhm.
major leagues in home runs. They needed a middle of the order bat to drive in runs. Now, that's not to say you want to put this all on a 21-year-old and say, okay, we're going to put you in the number cleanup spot, and we're expecting you to drive in 70 runs the second half of the season. That's a lot to expect as he adjusts to the big league level. But he does certainly fill a need. This team has lacked power and the ability to get the extra base hit with men on base when they need to. I'm not saying everybody, but if you look at their lineup on the whole, that's certainly a weakness or a need that they need to fill.
We're talking to Charlie Slows on BMitch Finlay, 1067 The Fan on the BetQL guest line. Charlie, when you start preparing for a guy coming up, you all basically are like encyclopedias. You look at so much information about him. What is one little tidbit that fans need to know about James Woods?
Well, all of his home runs this year, AAA, came on the road for whatever reason. That a fluky thing. Rochester, Syracuse early in the year, it's cold in those places, so the ball doesn't carry as well. But I think that's just a quirk that just happened that way. But I'll tell you something that doesn't show in the stats that we watched in spring training. He's very low key. If you talk to him, you can have a conversation with him, but he's not, going out of his way to be at this point a guy who's going to talk it up. But his eyes are watching everything.
Uh-huh.
He's taking everything in, and he was in that lineup of lockers in spring training in the clubhouse with he and Cruz and Trey Lipscomb, and these are the next wave of young players for the Nationals. But everything he did, you could tell he was coached well, and probably he's gotten some good advice. He didn't celebrate, Mitch. He hit a big home run or hit a bomb. It's like he's done this before, and I saw that the same, at the minor league level. It's just a matter. He's not going to. I don't know that he's going to be a showman. He's going to be a guy that looks like he's been here before.
Just go back business as usual, I would guess. But you can also hear the game tonight, right here on 106.7 The Fan. Charlie, I think Mackenzie Gore is starting tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to go.
Yes.
You got two of your top prospects on your team. Woods is coming back. Getting his debut tonight. And Mackenzie had been out for a while, hadn't he?
No. Mackenzie's been pitching the entire season.
Oh, okay.
He's been in the rotation the entire year.
Been good.
You've got C.J. Abrams is your shortstop. Is playing at times like an all-star, and he'll get consideration. So now with Wood coming in, this is 3 of the 5 players that the Nationals acquired in the trade with Juan Soto and Josh Bell going to San Diego. Actually 6 if you counted Luke Boyd. So you have Gore, Abrams, and Wood in the big leagues, and you have Robert Hassel, who is still in the minor leagues, very talented outfielder with plenty of big league potential, and Harlan Susana, the right-hander, who's at Fredericksburg right now. And this guy throws over 100 miles an hour. He's starting to lock it in with his command. So, as much as people were upset at the time when the Nationals decided that they weren't going to be able to come to a contractual agreement with Juan Soto and that was the best time to trade him and trade Josh Bell, what they got in return has sped up the rebuild or retool of this organization probably by at least 3 years, because you're going to see all of it. And then you're going to mix in Dylan Cruz, who they drafted with their number 1 pick last year, is probably going to be in the big leagues before the year is over. So, this is an exciting time to follow the Nationals and be a fan, because this is all going to turn. When you talk about how they played better than maybe people expected,
Yep.
A lot of that's been because of the pitching. That's because, when you look at Gore and the year that Jake Irvin has had, and then Mitchell Parker, who was not on the opening day roster, came up when Josiah Gray got hurt, and DJ Hurst came up when Trevor Williams had to go on the injured list. The starting pitching for this team has been the biggest improvement, and their bullpen is pretty good. But when the starting pitching is able to keep you in games that they could have won, or maybe only not winning because, as I said before, they like that big hit. They don't score a lot of runs. And when you look at Patrick Corman's numbers, you got to look past him this year. While he struggled the last few years, he's been much better this year. He's kept you in a lot of games. He's given you innings, but he's had the lowest run support of any starting pitcher in the major leagues. And that was proven again yesterday when the Nationals were shut out. So I think, right now where they are, if you're a Nats fan, and whether they sneak in as a wild card team or don't this year, this is the year to watch as this team really turns a corner.
I think that basically makes us see how good Rizzo really is, because I was upset when Soto left. I'm going to be honest with you, because the guy, you see this generational talent, you don't want him to leave, and then they let him go, and the people that they've gotten are already starting to, make way. It just shows you that I started the show off talking about leadership and things of that nature and how good people are. And I believe that over there, they're in good hands with Rizzo.
Absolutely. When you're a general manager, president of baseball operations, you're going to make some deals that maybe don't work out. You make deals for certain reasons, but to make sure that you got a haul for Juan Soto and at the time also Josh Bell, I don't think they could have done any better than this. And I hear that from baseball people, scouts, agents, everywhere we go. A week after the trade, we were out on the West Coast, and I always see Scott Boras in L.A. or San Diego, and of course the agent for Juan Soto is the agent for James Wood. He said if you had to trade Juan Soto, you had to get a haul, and Riz did really well. And he said you guys will be super excited when you see James Wood. He said he's a can't miss. He's a stud. And from everything we saw in spring training and the year he's had so far at AAA, here we go. We'll see it now at the big league level.
All right, Charlie. Well, man, I appreciate you giving us some time, man. And tonight, James Wood, first pitch at 6:45. Broadcast started at 6:15. You can hear the show right here on 106.7 The Fan. Charlie will be doing the play-by-play. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Mitch. You got it.
All right,
Talk to
brother.
you soon.